Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Nawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na
We call Ms.
kahapon,
Delia Lado, past president of Davao City Chamber, for the
Ikaw ang
introduction of the
mataahon
2017 officers and board of trustees.
sa piling mo.
We request everyone to please sit down now. Thank you very much.
This will then be followed by the charging of officers to be led by the President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Inc., Mr. George Barcelon, immediately followed by the installation of the 2017 Davao Chamber Board of Trustees to be done by our honorable guest, no less than the 16th President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. At this point, allow me to have the honor of introducing our 2017 DCCCII officers and Board of Trustees. As I call their names, Board of Trustees, we would like to request your presence up here on the stage. Let us start with our past president and incoming chairman of the board, Mr. Antonio T. de la Cruz. Next, we would like to call on outgoing President for Industry and incoming President, Captain Ronald C. Go. He will then be followed by past President and incoming Executive Vice President, Mr. Sofronio M. Hukutan. Next, we would also like to invite our Vice President for Trade and Commerce, Mr. Luciano Frederick P. Puyod III. For our Vice President for Industry, let's give a hand to Engineer Wilfred T. Teves. May we call on stage our Vice President for Agribusiness, Ms. Teresita M. Pascual, followed by our Vice President for Professionals and Service Ventures, Ms. Belinda L. Torres. Next, we would like to call on the presence of our Corporate Secretary, Ms. Yvonne F. Cabada. This time, we would like to welcome our Corporate Treasurer, Mr. Alvin M. Pinpin, CPA. And to complete our list of Board of Trustees, we would like to call on our trustees, DCCCII past President Mr. Bonifacio T. Tan, Mr. Antonio M. Ajero, Mr. Arturo M. Milan, Miss Jocelyn A. Romero, Miss Jennifer V. Sazon, and Mr. Juanito Ricky M. Tagabukba.
I, as George Barcelon, as PCCI National President, it is indeed an honor to be given this privilege to do the charging of officers. The office to which you have been elected is one of the trust and confidence vested on you by the membership of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Inc. In accepting this office, you undertake a responsibility which is to be taken seriously and should not be carelessly discharged. You are charged with the duties that are committed to furthering the thrusts and objectives of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Davao business community in general. With the constitutions and the bylaws as your basis, you must be ever ready to exercise the functions of the office with which you are entrusted in our desire to promote a sound business environment for the city of Davao. Further, you are charged with governing the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industries, anchored on transparency and according to the laws of democracy, under which laws every person who wishes to speak shall be heard. Toward the end, and with every matter carefully considered, the best opinion shall prevail through the express will of the majority and the best course of action followed. Do you accept this charge? I hereby announce my duties done. Thank you.
May we request the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, to do the induction of officers and Board of Trustees.
The oath of office, kindly raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been elected as of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Incorporated, do hereby solemnly swear to perform my duties and obligations to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, abide and uphold the articles of incorporation and bylaws of this chamber, with the aim in view of furthering the purposes of the organization, advancing the interests of the members of this chamber primarily, and the business community of Davao City in general, and to conduct myself in a manner befitting a good and model officer, and to continually bring honor and prestige to the organization. And I take this pledge with my full commitment and without any reservation whatsoever. So help me God. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Ang mga bago.
The outgoing Davao City Chamber of Commerce President, Mr. Bonifacio Tan, shall now turn over the Davao City Chamber flag to the newly installed President, Captain Ronald Go. May we request everyone to please be seated. Thank you. May we now call on the newly installed Davao City Chamber of Commerce President Captain Ronald Go for his inaugural address.
Hello. I, Bonifacio Titan, outgoing President of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated for the year 2016, do hereby turn over this flag to you as a symbol of authority. Use it steadfastly and righteously, with courage but with humility, with determination but with compassion and understanding. As you accept this flag and the authority that goes with it, may God help you with all your undertakings.
I, Ronald C. Go, incoming President of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Incorporated, for the year 2017, accept this flag as a symbol of authority. Guided by the Chamber's vision, mission, and core values, it is my commitment to use the authority responsibly, righteously, with all humility, but with full determination and understanding. So be it.
Congratulations.
Once again, for his inaugural address, the President of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Ronald Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll allow me to dispense with the regular introduction of guest of honor and speaker and all of this, as we want to spend more time with the President. So I will just go through that very quickly. To our President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, to our visitors from the international arena, to the local and national leaders here present, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow members of the Chamber, good evening. Our country is at a pivotal point at this time where we find Davao City at the center of attention for investment and tourism. All because one man decided to stand and fight for change. And although it took one man's courage, one man's conviction to stand up and go against overwhelming odds, it will take more than one man to actually bring about change and gain meaningful headway towards nation building. Collectively, it will take majority of 104 million Filipinos who stand behind the movement of change. Because if we remain fractionalized and divided as a nation, then we will be like the crabs in a basket, whereas one tries to climb out, the others pull him down, and everyone remains at the bottom of the basket. As a nation, we will all find ourselves at the bottom of the basket. I have always believed that a solution or instrument to change, positive change and growth, was entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is one person who dreams the impossible dream and then turns around and builds something that most people never thought could be done. An entrepreneur builds a business and creates jobs for Filipinos who are able to work now closer to their homes, and in effect, build a stronger, more stable society. An entrepreneur builds an entity which becomes a source of taxes for government, through which becomes the fuel that allows our economy to continuously, vigorously roll along. I believe in our society, we should espouse, we should encourage entrepreneurship, because in doing so, we tend to all be benefited. The Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry has always supported small and medium enterprises in its various forums and seminars. And this year will be no different. In July of this year, we're going to hold a very exciting event, and this is called the Davao Investment Conference, or the Davao Icon. And it will feature manufacturing, agribusiness, and tourism as its areas of focus. And it will be held at SMX in Lanang. And it will be chaired by a very energetic chairperson. And he has been promoted recently in the Boitis Equity Group. And I would like to call on, of course, Art Milan. Please rise, Art. In September of this year, we will have another very much anticipated event, and we call that the Davao Agri-Trade Expo, or date. Don't forget the date. And of course, we have another very capable businessman who is leading this event, and I would like to present him, Engineer Eboy Tan. Eboy Teves, excuse me. Whenever possible, the Chamber has always sought to create opportunities for networking and business matching. However, and I think I am also guilty of this, whenever we have affairs like this, general membership meetings and networking nights, we often have somebody next to us, and we fail to get to know them. We fail to get to know our seatmate, our table mate. We go from one affair to the other, and then we see the same person without getting to know his or her name. This year, we will strive to implement an atmosphere where getting to know one's fellow chamber member is highly encouraged. In doing so, we hope to create more business-to-business relationships between and among our members. And even if that doesn't happen, then at least we will increase our circle of friends. And I don't think that anybody had a problem having more friends. We will make our affairs more interesting and fun, because when one is engaged and interested, then one finds inspiration. And when one is inspired, then what used to be something that we merely complied with will become something that we enjoy. And when there was enjoyment, then this leads to commitment. And when there's commitment, we have more dedicated and engaged members of our chamber to make a more solid chamber to actually be prepared for the challenges of our future. In terms of advocacy, the chamber will always remain as the voice of the business community here in Davao City. Very ready to come about and be our voice, bringing about effective change, relevant change. So rather than be a chamber that doesn't know anybody, we will be a chamber that becomes more stronger this year. We will be a voice for not only us here in the Davao City Chamber of Commerce, but for a voice for other businessmen as well. And in fact, at this point in time, I would like to take this point to reiterate the invitation of our past chairman, John Gaisano, when he said, of course, he said it in a negative way. He said, if you're not a member of the chamber, then we cannot help you. But what we will do is invite everyone here tonight who is not a member of the chamber to make a significant stand with us, to become a member so that we can become a more significant voice for change in the business community. In retrospect, I think we need to be more participative, more proactive in our efforts so that we will make our voice heard. To borrow the words of our president when he addressed us in the Sulong Pilipinas conference, where he said, and he was talking about corruption, he said, how can I remove those who are corrupt in government if you do not tell me who they are? In the same manner, we here in the chamber say, how can we address your concerns if you do not tell us what they are? So we ask you to become more proactive and voice out more so that we can bring about what we call the ease of doing business, which I believe all businessmen here really long for. In retrospect, I guess that is the nature of a strong organization, or similarly, that is what is required with regards to the task of nation building. It is not about one man. It is not about our chairman here, Tony de la Cruz, or our past chairman, John Gaisano. It's not about me as your president. It's not about this affair. It was not organized by one individual. It was not organized just by Joe Romero, who is our chairperson for this event, or her chairperson, co-chairperson, Jennifer Sason, or people like John Gaisano, Tony de la Cruz, Art Milan, and John Tria. It's not about all these board of trustees, or even the professional management team, or even our executive director. It's not about one person, but it's about the collective efforts of many people pulling together towards an aspired goal that we will achieve success and continue to achieve success in the years of come. My fellow members of the chamber, we find ourselves at a very opportune time in our history, which we should take advantage of. We have our president, who is finally a Dabaweño. We must not remain like the crabs in a basket that constantly pull each other down. Rather, we must be like the ants in a colony that continue to pull the load together, to lift each other up, to build in unison, so that in doing so, we overcome the obstacles which are seemingly insurmountable, and we finally pave the way to the growth and development that has long been overdue. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, let us build a better organization, a better economy, a better Davao City, and perhaps a better Philippines. And in doing so, when we are building a better organization, a better Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry, perhaps we can finally lay legitimate claim to what our chairman, Tony de la Cruz, always says, that we are not only the best chamber in the Philippines, not only the best chamber in Asia Pacific, that perhaps truly we will now be the best chamber in the world. As we start a new year, my fellow members of the chamber and those I hope that will become also a member of this chamber, I wish you a prosperous and productive year ahead. Mabuhay po kayo lahat. Mabuhay po ang Dabawenyo, mabuhay po ang Dabao, mabuhay po ang pinakamamahal nating bansang Pilipinas. Maayong gabi kaninyong tangan.
Thank you very much, Chamber President Captain Go. At this point, may we request Finance Secretary Carlos Sonny Dominguez III to introduce our guest of honor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have strict instructions to make our introductions brief and to the point. Tonight, however, because of recent historical events, I will deviate from the usual practice. And I hope my friend there will not hold it against me. Tonight, I wish to inform you all that the person I will introduce single-handedly has raised for the Philippines the highest amount of foreign official development assistance ever. He has raised in the 7 months that he's been in office through his astute diplomatic skills an amount of almost 1 trillion pesos. I want to thank him because he has made my job as chief tax collector in the Philippines much easier. It is my honor to introduce to you the guest of honor and keynote speaker for tonight, the 16th President of the Republic of the Philippines, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Good evening. Opo po kayo. Salamat. I have here a prepared speech. The run-of-the-mill type. All glossy and positive, which is really fundamentally correct. But, I'd like to go back to my predicate of governance. I remember said that I will put a stop to corruption in government. I swore to suppress crime and criminality and allow the business sector, this time on a macro level, to just do their thing and call upon me if there's anything that I can do to help, particularly the ease of doing business and corruption. Those were the fundamentals that I gave you during the last election. Wala ho akong sinabi na graduate ako ng Cambridge o Oxford na matalino ako. Just like what I answered the late Chito Ayala dito sa Davao. And he did not support me at that time, but when I won, pinatawag niya ako, pumunta ako. He supported the late Sapros Bispo. But ako naman, after the election, I said, tapos na eh. He said, Rudy, what do you intend to do? And I said, sir, I will create the environment for business to thrive and to grow. Kayo ang bahala sa pera. I really do not have the wherewithal of how we should proceed where do we start and when is the time to relax. Ganun ho ang sinabi ko sa kanya. Ang siya, okay, that's a good deal. So I started with the law and order. It was a bit topsy-turvy at the time, but I was able to talk to the communists and I was able to talk to everybody. At that time, it was really the movement of the Communist Party of the Philippines which gave us a lot of trouble. But I have this we go some tea in the mountains, and we got to agree on so many things. And one of that is really how to help the people. And for them not to destroy equipments of government, because sadly I would tell you, the first year when I was mayor, I bought a new tractor. Alam mo, hinulog ng mga yawa noon sa bukid. And I lost money there. So I was faced a choice of how to go about improving the situation. If I cannot go to the mountains, how can I protect the people? And how can those little guys start a business of just 2, 3, 4, 5 hectares of banana? So I really had to go there, talk to everybody. Nur Miswari is a good friend, and may konting ko on the side of my mother and daughter-in-law ko as my emissaries to the MILF. So we experience a little bit of trouble. Pero hindi ganon ka malala. Nung presidente na ako, I was able to get also the word of the NDF that they would be willing to talk about peace. And when Norway provided the good offices for us to talk with them, we grabbed the chance. And so Doresa and Bebot Belio are there. Nasa Rome sila ngayon. I don't know why they transferred venue. Siguro magpalapit doon sa Pope para maggrasyahan ang but I said, sige, I will just wait for a while. And when you are ready, it's either I will go to somewhere in a third world country, not really a third world country in terms of finances, but a third country where I can talk to Season. And after that, if there's something that is really official and substantial, then we can announce to the world that we have this agreement. But there are things which I cannot really, as a matter of survival, in the sense that there are things which have to remain with me for all time. So with the pasok na yung federal system, nandito man sila kay Alonto, and they know that my commitment is there. I have committed to the Bangsamoro people, to the Moro people of Mindanao, that we will work hard for a federal setup. Do you know why? And they would tell you, walang kapayapaan ang Mindanao. We'll never find peace for us, for our children, for the Moro and Christian, and everybody else. Kailan talaga mag-usap at ibigay natin? It could be something of a hybrid between the French system and the English Parliament. But still, there has to be a sort of a concession. Alam mo kasi nangyari dito sa Mindanao, it's not because of plain banditry. It has degenerated into something like that, but not all. the mainstreams remain to be talking with us. Nord Miswari is here. He said that he called me that he talked to me day after tomorrow. So that would be bukas siguro. He has his decision. I hope that you have decided where we should begin. Yun ang mga ano natin, yung first talagang the fundamentals. We have to, what happened here was a Moro nationalism, the rising of a Moro nationalism. Just like the rising of the Arabs now, ang problema because they allowed it to again go to the extremes by their several fupa. Mistakes dito, mistakes doon. And you know, just like what happened in the Middle East, actually they were carved out by the Germans, Italians, British, America. Kaya ganon. It used to be tribal, then they carved to several countries. So mayroon ditong Shiite, mayroon ditong Sunni, and because I said it was arbitrary in the sense that it was not planned well, they just carved out with the pen na ito iyo. So that what happened. And the greatest tragedy there is that the Middle East was maybe carved out by the imperialists, and it was the imperialists also destroying the Middle East now. Invading the country on the pretext of weapons of mass destruction when there was none, thereby undermining Saddam and eventually killing him. So was with Libya. And were it not for the Chinese and the Russians, matagal nang bumagsak yan si Assad. But nakita kasi nila ang dalawa na this guy is going to eat everybody there, but there's no guarantee of what will happen in the future and what would be left. What would be the crumbs of the favor of those ousted? So it created a desperado thing, and that's what you see now. Dito, well, when the Magellan came in 1521, he had his religion, Christianity. Wala akong ano dyan. Religion is good. It moors us to our values in life. Problem is, itong pinilit talaga nilang ang Mindanao. Because by the time that he was there in Leyte, landing, Islam was thriving here in Mindanao almost by 70 years. I took time to see the archives nung congressman pa ako. And they say it's about 100 odd century. I would place it about 70. But still, well ahead than the rest of the religions. So when they tried to supplant Islam with Christianity, that started the bloody fight from the Spaniards to the Americans. And now, because we are perceived to be the successors of these two imperialists who came here to my country and maybe lived of the fat of the land. So yan ang problema. We have to understand that in the proper perspective so that we will know ano ba talaga ang problema dito. And ngayon, it has been reduced to something like there's a country already, there's a functioning government. It would do well for us really to consider federalism. But not the type because of the scattered archipelago. You have to have a president, a strong president. So those who are thinking, itong mga taga-Maynila, about martial law, lengthening your stay, it's bullshit. You know, if you'll ask me, frankly, are you exceedingly happy, or am I exceedingly happy, pleased, or being the President of the Philippines, I will answer you this one thing. I do not need the position at this time of my life. Hindi ko na kailangan. Kaya yung martial law, mas bright ako sa kanila. You know, this martial law thing was really, the martial law provisions really to defend the country, sinira sa Core Constitution because of the hangover nila sa martial law. Here is a martial law provision which is that the President can declare martial law in case of invasion, insurrection, blah, blah, blah. But after 60 days, I have to go to Congress. See? To ask for an extension if I cannot complete or whatever is there to finish. And there is also a provision, another paragraph, which it's a very continuous thing, which says that any citizen of this republic can bring a case to the Supreme Court to question into the factual basis of the martial law. Ang problema nito, if si Art Milan would go to the Supreme Court to question me if there is really a need for martial law, at ang congressman which says that there is reason to believe, at ito namang plain citizen, tapos tignan ng Supreme Court, sabihin ng Supreme Court, no, kulang. It's not sufficient to declare the martial law. So here is Congress, and here is the Supreme Court, drawn into a stalemate just to have the safety nets of an abusive despot, a dictator. Saan ka pupunta ngayon dyan? So if the Supreme Court decides otherwise, and here is Congress, what will I do now? There's no more control. Anak ka nang, sabihin ko, the three great branches of government, two are against one another. So ako yung presidente will decide. So you give now to me the carta blanca to really decide what I intend to do. O di sabihin ko, okay, martial law forever. Tapos na. Sabihin ng Congress, yan may rason eh. Sabihin naman ng Supreme Court, kulang yan. It's not sufficient. Tingnan mo talagang, and yet to think that there are about, how many of them, wise people, no offense intended, pati sila Joker Arroyo. Hindi nila tinignan yan. Nangyaana ako dahil dito, I'm now trading into the law and order thing. Pagka meron, kailangan, sabihin ko kanila, drugs, that's not enough. Tapos nakikita ko na, you know, there are about 4 million slaves in this country. Not the slaves that you buy in the Middle East slave markets, but a slave to the pocket of the odious and despicable people. Slave na hanggang kailan sila magnakaw, magpatay para lang. Unreal drug lords are they have a chateau in whatever, mayroon sila sa Switzerland. And yet, itong mga human rights, when they say that, another idiot said that I cannot, tanungin mo muna, bakit sila namatay? Ask, what is the reason for this strike? Do not just say na namatay, and period. I have to protect the Filipino people. It's my duty. And I tell you now, if I have to declare martial law, I will declare it. Not about invasion, insurrection, not about danger. I will declare martial law to preserve my nation, period. Wala akong pakialam dyan sa Supreme Court. Because the right to preserve one's life and my nation, my country, transcends everything else. Even the limitation. Kung gusto ko, at it will deteriorate into something really very virulent, I will declare martial law if I wanted to. Walang makapigil sa akin. And I want to say, why are you declaring martial law? Because I have to preserve the Filipino people and the youth of this land. That's what I said. Do not go into the thing because I will kill you. That's why I said in Davao, okay, namatay ka talaga. Anak ka ng, sinabi ko sa iyo, do not tinker with this. It's a very dangerous thing. You destroy my country, you destroy the youth of the land. What is there for tomorrow? The money in the banks. It's the greatest resource, the brain of the Filipino collectively to maintain the integrity of this country. Hindi tayo nakakaintindihan dyan eh. Kaya itong mga taga-bayan na bullshit, do not joke with me about Duterte wanting to. Sa edad kong ito, hindi ko na kailangan. Actually, kung may magsabi, magkudita sila, good. Basta tignan ko lang na mga tao, na mga general sila ang magdala, ayosin ninyo. I will swear them to office. Ay, general, sige, kayo na patakbo. Kung kaya ninyo, di patakbohin ninyo. Or Congress may opt to impeach me, fine. But let it not be said that I allowed this country placed in jeopardy, in peril, because I did not know what I had to do. Wala tayong padrama-drama dito. Martial law, that piece of paper is nothing. Look at, did it ever prevent Ramos? Marcos? Did it prevent Ramos from joining it? And really? Why? Sila lang, pero itong lantaran na ito, huwag naman ninyong, sabi ko, talagang papatayin ko kayo. Baka, kala yung nagbubulahan tayo dito. I called the mayors, the Philippines, 3, nilockdown ko. Pero sabihin ko sa inyo, i-lockdown din dito. Sarahan mo yan dyan. Sundalo. Para walang mag-chismis. Sinabi ko talaga sa kanila, totoo yan. And I will say, pardon my language, because may mga putang ina ninyo. Nandito yung, can I have the, break muna. Inom muna kayo ng tubig. Can I have the, this is the drug industry of the Philippines. Dito, police, barangay captain, mayors, a few governors, Ito na. Lahat ito listahan. Itong mga pictures nila. And Blue Oath was there. Itong kago na to, General Oath. Nabi ko, ang masakit sa akin, lahat na tao tayo, I was thinking that you'd protect the people. Here is a guy, military man to. Kasi PC noon eh. Look, mayroon pa isang dito. Itong mayawa na ito. Yung may cross, wala na yan. Ang listahan na ito, ganito. Puro listahan yan. Hindi nga kung alam, may isang barangay captain. Anis ako kasi yung binubula ako ng putang ina niya na, meron yan. Yung pala, siya rin. Gusto mo pala. Sige. Patay. Sinabi ko talaga. And I'd be calling the governor sa next week. Sabihin ko talaga sa kanila. You tell your barangay captains, may supervisory powers kayo. Anyong cities under you. Hindi pa chartered cities. You tell the mayors. Reiterate to them. But I would like to tell you, hindi ko kaya lecturean lahat ng Kung kagig mo kumpiyansa sa akin, putangin, papatayin talaga kita. Believe me. Hanapan kita na. Ambos, lasunin kita. Totoo. Dito wala ako. Hindi ako atras dito. If it causes my downfall, so be it. If I'm ousted, glad to go out. Kodita, fine. Let's have a change of picture. Pero hindi ako atras dito. Tatapusin ko to the very last day. It takes me 6 years. 6 years will be it. Wag mo akong, I said, ano lang ako, ganito. I might be really a small-time boy. No credentials, impressive ones, no nothing. But what I have is just a basic sense of my love for my country and for my children. You get to realize how important your country is kung may mga anak ka na. Kung yung time binata pa no, it was a wildlife. Pero nung may mga apo na ako, ibang istorya na to. So it's at the end of the day, it's our country. Ngayon dito sa kayong nagputok dyan sa Maote, they have all been accounted for. Nahuli ko na lahat. Ang isa dyan, anak ni Sema, mayor ng Cotabato. He's now detained dyan sa Malaysia. You know, we have a good working relations with Mahathir and with Dudo. And hindi pa dumating yung mga fast boats ko eh. Pero ang order ko talaga sa sundalo. Pag nakidnap ka, sila kahabulan, and the Indonesian army the Navy would pursue you inside my waters. I said, okay, if we do not have any available sea assets that are around, you can go ahead and blast them off. That's same with Mahathir. Ako ang order ko talaga sa Navy, sa Coast Guard. Basta nag-kidnap tapos trying to escape, pasabugin mo na silang lahat. Sabi nila sa hostage ko, sorry, collateral damage. Then if they are blasted every day, that would stop. Or at least places at into a parity. Hindi ka lalamang sa kulukuhan mo, taga-pasabugin kita. Kaya wag kayong magpakidnap, totoo lang. Sila na, ay, si Duterte talagang gago yan, masama yan, palaawa yan noon. Well, that's tatapos na yan. That's something which is a non-issue anymore. Wala na. Kung gago man ako, no, itong pagkagago ko, gamitin ko na rin sa mga gago. Pero wag mo akong, kasi sabihin ko, yung nagbomba niyan, sabi ko, pulihin talaga. And we were able to, and also I'd like to thank of course, the Americans. I'm saying that their imperialism days, it's different from the original. Huwag kagyan magkumpiyansa ngayon when you go out of, aside from my camera, yung sa syudad natin, may ibang camera pa, so yung mukha mo nakikita talaga. You know one thing with this drone, anak ka na. Sa gabi, hindi mo makita eh. Andiyan lang pala sa tutok ng Marco Polo. They can take pictures. So we had the faces. So it was very easy for us to catch them. Yung iba, well, I'm sorry, may mga muro tayong kapatid. Ito ang pinatay ko. It's not easy to just bomb a place and say, at least safe in the sense that we can prevent it if on time, because we were able to, almost all kinds of tao dito na kuna na ng picture. But sometimes it cannot be prevented. But dito tayo sa, balik ako, may nakalimutan ako. Dito sa graft and corruption. Alam mo, kayo lang ang makahinto niyan. Hindi ako. Kayo lang talaga. The Filipino guy must be assertive. Do not be afraid of government employees, even the military and the police, if you are right. That is what I guarantee you now. Kung gusto mo talaga magtulong sa bayan mo, you have this 6 years window. But I really do not know if I will last that long, but meron kayong window to stop everything. All you have to be is just assert. Demand the service. Huwag kayong magbigay, you create a scene, at saka magkagulo yan, I will eventually take notice of it. Kasi magkaroon niyang may away, skandalo dyan sa Register of Deeds, dyan sa, yan, palaging walang papel. Ako, basta ganon, zero tolerance ako. Kung ako ang nagkamali, pasensya, umalis ka na lang. Tuluyan na lang natin. Pagdating dyan sa customs, kung buksan nila, edi, kayo ang magbukas. Tapos kung magpurot-purot na sa search, okay lang. Maybe they're looking for shabu. No? Tapos yung mga perfume na marami, kung kunan mo, may isang box ka. So, no. That is not taxable. Hindi lang commercial quantity. Wala akong basar. Ito sa asawa ko, sa anak ko, sa kabit ko, sa isa kong kabit. Huwag kayong pumayag. Kung may maghingi, sabi mo, ano? Pakiulit nga. Wala bang. Because on the national level, ang department choose to be many years, not done, for all of its rotten na-dam yung ating application for a railroad. Sa awa ng Diyos, wala hanggang ngayon. Ngayon, I'm just giving them one department, 1 month. BIR, 3 days. I will demand now from the local governments, sundin lang ang Davao. Not sans hubris, walang yabang yan. I am not into it actually. I loathe it. 3 days. Pag hindi, mayroon naman, binigyan ko kayo space for you to tell me. Nandyan yung 8888. Mayroon pagkatapos niyan, after the news, bakante yan. Bihin mo lang, Office of the Register of Deeds of whatever, itong si ano naghihingi, period. I'll take it from there. Sabi ko, umalis ka. Sabi ko, hindi abot yung pangalan mo dyan. Ganon, wala na yung civil service. Putang ina yan. Yan nakakagulo eh. Yung right to be heard, kung ayaw mo, ilan na dito, police. Assign ko sa hulo. LFTRB. Kita mo, wala na. Yung mga kurakot, ay 92 of them. Sabi ko, mag-resign kayo. Hindi ko lang, para hindi rin ma-insulto kasi may mga anak eh. Diyan lang ang problema. We would really want to avoid also the embarrassment, but sometimes we cannot help it. As much as possible, kung just go into the night without any rokos. Kayo lang hindi ako kasi nandito. Sige ako nagsabi, wala. Tapos wala naman akong feedback. Pati sa taas. Pati yung mga bid ngayon ng mga pantalan, it will go into a process. Sunny is here. I have Tugade. Puro bright ito sila. Tugade is a billionaire. He was our valedictorian sa law school. Sunny, valedictorian. Yasay, salutatorian. Bit Aguirre, cum laude. Si Lorenzana sa defense. Si Kibuloy ay nagsabi sa akin, they were classmates in Cotabato sa Notre Dame. He was the valedictorian. Sa klase niya sa PNP, he was the valedictorian. Walang. Pernia is a emeritus sa UP. Priones. Stalwart ng yan. Sa economy, the national treasurer. Si Tigualo, well, she was in prison. Ex-convict yan eh. Kasi kinulong ni Marcos. Mariano, ex-convict. Kulong yan. Si Lisa Masa, convicted yan. Ex-convict sa kinulong ni Marcos yan. Kaya yung aming cabinet, it's a very, not really chaotic, but magulo. Ganon ka lang. Ganon ka lang. Kasi, pagkatapos, medyo okay, lumano lang lahat. Ganon lang yan. Puro bright yan. I have assembled one of the, hindi lang alam na matakala nila na Bit Aguirre, say God, kita mo na pa-acquit niya si Web. No, yan. Classmate ko rin yan. May dalawa pa akong classmate para wala kayong duda. Bambit Mendoza sa Supreme Court. Justice. Pati si Buji Santos. We were classmates. Yung klase namin yan. O kaya, ang plano sa akin ng Diyos, gawin ako presidente. Ang plano nila ito, klasanin yung mga bright, pinaaral ng Diyos ng husto, binigyan ng utak, kasi sila ang trabahante ko. Paano ito? Si Duterte, wala mo na itong alam nung ako. Sige mo lang ito, bilyar. Well, kayo ang nagkamali, hindi ako. Po, yan ang economy, it will come. Huwag mo lang just show good faith. Then, the most important really is the leader must avoid the slightest taint of corruption. Ako sa awa ang Diyos naman, 23 years ninyo akong na mayor. Not in my system, actually. I got it from my father. He was governor of this place many years ago. But it's hard to when you. Paano ako na I was a fiscal, and at the same time, wala pa yung ombudsman, Tanod Bayan pa yan. I was a special prosecutor for the Tanod Bayan. I used to go around Mindanao prosecuting malversation case. Kaya master ko yung disbursement ng yung presentation. Pinag-aralan ko talaga yung step by step paano magpasok ng ebidensya. Yun lang ang trabaho ko. Tanggapin ko kasi wala akong trabaho. Pero maybe I'm used to just anyway, I think that we should have a respite of corruption. Ngayon, if you want your country really to grow, ayaw ko ng away. That's why I talk to Abe, I talk to no military alliances, no nothing. I do not even want. I want the country freed of foreigners, soldiers. Ayaw ko. Time for the Philippines to sibat na kayo. We're good enough. We're good now. So, hindi ko na kailangan yung magpatrolya. Let me just talk to my brother Moro and the rest of it. And maybe from there on, somebody should, wala na ako, maubusan ako ng panahon. Another Filipino should stand up and do the right thing. Huwag na yung kailangan mga sundalo. Actually, sinabi ko kay Abid, hindi ko na kailangan yung mga missile, mga basil. Because as you see now, sometimes it's Putin who is very conciliatory. And now Trump is almost also disregarding, ignoring the reports of the hacking. He's reaching out. You know, if we start a war, a third world war, that will be the end of the world. Pag binitawa lahat yung nuclear, ngayon, kung meron tayong si Kim Jong-il, itong buang nasa North Korea, he's the wild carder. Not Russia. Putin is just an ultra si Putin. Ultra. But ang gago niyan, itong sa North Korea lang. Kung mamatay ang buang na yan, okay na tayo. And the Philippines would be okay. Okay na tayo. Okay na tayo. Corruption, wala na yan. Terror, hayaan mo na kami ng military. That's why I was watching with, I was amused to, was listening to Ronnie Go. He used to be a pilot and he used to fly for me. When I was mayor, sila one of those guys who would fly the chopper. Sa Kasap siya. So nakita ko metamorphosis ng tao to a family and then a businessman. So kagaya natin, he has children, he have children, your grandchildren. we should cooperate. Kung gusto talaga ninyo, ang anak ninyong will not be thrown into a very corrupt, help me. All you have to do is to just say, excuse me, ano sinabi mo? Pera. Sampalin mo. I will answer for it. Basta totoo lang nangyari. Sabihin kong putang ina ka, ikaw nag-umpisa, papatayin kita. You do. Gantihan mo yung plain citizen, I will. Kalagkarin kita. Hindi ako sabi ko, kayo magkumpiyansa sa akin pag ako talagang you create a scandal. You report. Place it there. Walang libel yan. Ako ang mag-publish. That's publication eh. Pag yan naman, it's public. But ikaw naman nagpapadala sa akin. I just can't keep it. But if I publish it, ako yung ano yan eh. May saying dyan na he who is the cause of the cause is the cause of them all. See? If you are the cause because you are corrupt, then you deserve what the succeeding events will be. He who is the cause of the cause is the cause of them all. So that's my warning to all workers in government. Lahat. Ang hindi ko kontrolado ang judiciary because that is a different department. I am not supposed to intrude. That would be unconstitutional. And of course, Congress, hindi rin natin kaya. Makaya natin, pagdating ng panahon madali, wala na yung 60 days. Kung ang presidente mag-declare ako, my ground to preserve my country. That's the highest. To preserve the integrity of my country, that there will be more Filipinos, more attuned to the civilized practices of the world, and at least happy. Yung iba, pagbaya mo, the dirty job, hindi man ninyo kaya rin. Pag sabi na, wag mong gawain yan, putang ina mo, papatayin talaga kita, at pinatay kita. No, sabihin nyo, I'll end this by saying, you want walang patayan, no deaths? You want a city with no military men, no patrol cars, wherever? You want na ang punerarya magbangkaruta na? Madali lang. Drop your guns if you are a terrorist. Drop the shabu tonight and tomorrow it will be heaven. Maraming salamat po.
Daghang salamat. Palangga namong President Mayor Rudy Duterte. And may we request the President to have a photo opportunity with the members and guests in 16 batches.
Please come up on stage as your table number is called.
And for the guests to please take your seats.
You may now take your seats. We'll start off with tables number 23 and 24. Again, tables number 23 and 24. We'd like to request tables number 11 and 12 to be ready because you're going to be next.
Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas.
All right, at the count of 3.
Tayo na,
1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Next group, tables 11 and 12, please.
para sa
And the next tables, tables 22 and 21.
Tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte para sa tunay na pagbabago.
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, thank you.
Next batch, tables number 22 and 21. We would request tables 10 and 13 to please be ready, as you're going to be next.
Rape, droga at mga nakawan dapat na mapigilan. Tayo na
On the count of 3,
tayo na
1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
hawak kamay tayo para sa
Do it again. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Next, tables 10 and 13 on stage, please, with the President.
tayong lahat kay
Please prepare tables 25 and 26.
Duterte para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte para sa
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, thank you.
Up next, tables 25 and 26. Tables 1 and 2, please be ready.
ikaw ang pamuno para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim
Ladies and
na
gentlemen, please be
kahapon.
ready.
Ikaw ang mag-aahon
On the count of 3.
sa piling mo.
1, 2, and 3.
Mawawala
Thank you, ladies and
ang
gentlemen.
korupsyon.
We call on tables 1 and 2, please, on stage.
Tayo na, Pilipinas.
And tables 17 and 16, please be ready. We appreciate it that you're giving the others time with the President. Thank you very much.
Para sa pagkasenso.
Tables 1 and 2 on stage. Tables 17 and 16, please be ready.
Tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Para sa tunay
Thank
na
you.
pagbabago.
Tables 17 and 16 may now go on stage.
Tables 17 and 16. Tables 3 and 20, be ready, please.
Alamak, mga krimen. Rape, droga at mga nakawan dapat na mapigilan. Tayo na,
Tables 17 and 16 on stage. Tables 3 and 20, please be ready.
At the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
hawak kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo.
Tables 3 and 20. Please be on stage.
Para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kayo
At the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Thank you.
Tables 4 and 7, please be ready. We appreciate you giving the others time to be with the President. We request everyone whose turn is to go on stage to stick to their turn so we can give the other batches the opportunity to be with our beloved President.
Awa na ang bayan ko sa
On stage now are tables 4 and 7, tables 27 and 29. Please be ready.
madilim na kahapon.
Tables 5 and 6, after 27 and 29, please be ready as well.
Sa piling mo,
On a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. On stage now, 27 and 29 guests with the President.
Pilipinas, tayo na.
Gentlemen, may we request you to vacate the stage once your photo op is done.
Thank
to
you.
give time for the others to have their photo opportunity.
Thank you very much for your understanding. Tables 27 and 29 on stage now with the President. Tables 5 and 6 will follow.
Tables 5 and 6, please be ready.
On a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
You may now exit, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We're now ready to call on tables 5 and 6.
Tables 9 and 14. You are next.
Rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat na mapigilan.
Thank you very much, guests and friends, for understanding that the others would also need their time to be with the President.
Gentlemen, at the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much. Next batch, please.
Tables 9 and 14 on stage now. This will be followed by guests from tables 18 and 19.
To those who are done with the photo op, may we request you to please settle down and take your seats.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people.
Tables 18 and 19 on stage now. Thank you very much for your cooperation as we give the others the chance to be with the President as well. On stage now, tables 18 and 19.
Tables 8 and 15, please be ready. At the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. No selfies, please. May I request everyone not to take selfies with the President.
Guests from tables 8 and 15 on stage now. Thank you, guests from tables 18 and 19. You may take your seats, please. Guests on at tables 8 and 15 on stage, please. Guests at tables 28 and 30, you are next.
Please.
Ikaw ang mataahon.
Tables 8 and 15 on stage now with the President.
Mawawala ang korupsyon.
We request everyone to cross the not to cross the front of the guest of honor. Please pass at the back. Thank you. Guests at tables 8 and 15 on stage on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. kindly exit the stage now as we call on the tables 28 and 30. Tables 28 and 30, you may now proceed on stage.
The Board of Trustees for 2016 and past presidents of the Davao Chamber will be called next. On stage, tables 28 and 30.
Alamak, mga krimen.
Please be ready, trustees of 2016 and chamber past presidents. After, yes, at tables 28 and 30. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen,
very
you may
much.
now exit the stage.
Hawat kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Board of Trustees of the Davao City Chamber for 2016 on stage, please, and past presidents of the Davao City Chamber on stage as well.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo. Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
On a count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Again, on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, Board of Trustees, past presidents, and the Chamber.
Bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim.
We request the new president and the recently outgoing president of the chamber for a photo of only the new president and the immediate past president, photo op, and the chairman of the board.
Tayo na, Pilipinas. Tayo na.
Count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hawat kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso.
We would like to request everyone to please take your seats now.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Para sa tunay na pagbabago.
That ends our program with the President. May we request everyone to please remain seated as the President leaves the room. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, a round of applause for the Davao City Chamber of Commerce. Wow, we are starting the year with a super big bang. None other than the President of the Republic of the Philippines has chosen to be with us tonight. Again, to our guests and friends of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce,